All to the Amazing Conspiracy Realist channel. This is ACRA Weekly, Amazing Conspiracy Realist Academy weekly show. And this week I'm doing another tarot reading with the Herbal Healing deck, the Aleister Crowley Thoth deck, and the Crystal Healing kit I got here as well. I've done it this way before, and it's just a great way to kind of see how multiple different elements can come together and how you can bring, different aspects of divination into one reading, knowing that everything is interconnected and that we're really just measuring consciousness and vibration and frequency within the multiverse when we're doing things like astrology and tarot and runes and crystals, and we're just tapping into the unseen realm so that we can use that information as shadow material to integrate into our conscious life. And that's really what true spirituality and true spiritual alchemy is all about, as far as I'm concerned, in my own experience and what I've learned in the 7 to 10 years that I've really dived deep into the more Western occult traditions, and not just like Buddhism or yoga, or there's nothing wrong with those things, but getting more into these divination traditions and seeing the more like Western perspective on it, and the ancient Irish origins perspective, and considering that the Native Americans were here in the West as well, so that there's their side of the whole equation. And I just really took to the tarot at some point, and it just spoke to who I was and my sensibilities. And so here we are. And so I pulled some kind of rather maybe not so positive, at least the initial card was not the most favorite card on the deck, let's say. And that's going to be the Queen of Cups reversed. I mean, when it's not reversed, it deals with, a homemaker, a caretaker, people taking care of themselves, or someone who cares for their children and, is very much responsible in that way. Like, it's also your own house. So it has to do with, the reason why this might be coming up is, the card that was laying upward after I pulled this card was love. So, and that was upright, but still, this has to do with an aspect of love that, maybe you're just not giving enough love to yourself in a certain area. And, that could be a relationship as well. And so with that, we can turn to what's great is that this is the Herbal Healing deck. And then in this case, we can, because basically that last card, I could go into it more in depth, but basically it's ruled by Cancer in a more negative mode. And so, but the answer to that is Wood Betony. Here we go with the herbal essence and the spirit of the herb as applied to the situation. And so here we are, Sarah Baldwin, the author. She starts off the description of her Wood Betony, which you can see on the screen. That's the divination card associated with this herbal essence. And that is, Wood Betony is the common name for Stachys officinalis, a perennial native to Europe. Plant played a major role in ancient Greco-Roman culture and the Middle Ages. Well known as a cure-all medicine and protective charm that leaves strength the entire digestive system and can be used to settle the stomach in cases of heartburn, indigestion, and gas. Wow, see? It takes care of your shit for you. Wood betony also soothes and fortifies the nervous system, which is really important these days. You know, people are nervous system's probably way out of whack. There are people that like work overnight at places that just never get like, you know, normal sleep hours, and their circadian rhythms all out of whack. So it's, you know, we live in a very unnatural environment, and it's not on purpose, and we have to stay grounded. That's what this card is all about. And so, not to like reread the entire thing, but you know, overall it's about staying grounded, even in toughest of times, you know. And even right here, as soon as I said that, you know, she comes in and saying, drawing the wood betony card, it serves as a reminder to stay grounded. The small herb stays close to the ground, setting up thin stalks with purple flowers each year. Herbalist Matthew Wood praises the plant as a superb solar plexus remedy, improving gut-level instincts and intuition. Located between the ribs and the navel, the powerful energy center produces palpable feelings such as butterflies in the stomach. The solar plexus can also notify us of strong emotions or even potential danger. It is vital to listen to your gut feelings at this time, as your solar plexus contains deep wisdom that may not be known to your conscious mind. So that's interesting as well. Talking about somatic intelligence, talking about what is your body actually telling you, what is your emotions actually telling you about your like position in life. And so the message behind this card is just grounding yourself will serve as protection from negative and disruptive energies. So, you know, why we might be seeing love in kind of a negative state is because there's not a lot of self-love. I mean, we live in a society that's getting more, you know, socialistic, whether it be towards the right or left aspect of socialism. It doesn't really matter, because both the right and left wings are two wings on the same fascist bird. And it wants you to stay imbalanced. It wants you to stay out of a state of self-love and self-care and balance, so that everything else, you know, after that becomes out of whack. And I know it from my own personal life, you know, it's like when you let the bad habits take over completely, or you just kind of let things slide too far into a negative direction, then, you know, you start to lose control of, you know, the things that are really important and the things that you're actually responsible for, you know, to keep yourself afloat. And, you know, survival is one level of it, and then you figure out survival, and then you get to the level where you're actually learning the truth, and then you teach what you know. And so it may all happen in stages or at the same time, or, you know, you might think you've come to a certain point and you have to kind of, you know, adopt the mind of the beginner again. And, you know, I think that's all part of the journey. So with that, we have the crystal Unakite. Embodies strong, harmonious relationships, promotes balance and persistence. So how much of a match we had. Crazy to see how much of a match we had throughout the cards, you know, how much the themes kind of lined up, dealing with relationships, dealing with self-love, and then, you know, being able to extend that out once you've, you know, taken care of your own house. And, you know, that's what the year 2025 is all about. It's about, you know, people going within again, not because there's a lockdown, just because it's that time again to kind of just sort of check in with who you are and what you're doing and how you can better serve yourself and, you know, others in the great work, and, you know, just level up You know, how can you level up yourself in a positive way without being too hard on yourself to where you don't achieve anything at all?